Welcome, Professional Rookies Podcast. What week are we in? This is, today when this comes out, it'll be August 9th, so I guess that's the week of August 8th. Is that how you say that?
Yeah, we're a little behind.
Yeah, we're running a little behind. This is going to be the Wing It show. It's going to be quick today. Just wanted to put something out there. We both have a lot going on. So really, this week's going to be like a show update. We're going to talk about what we envision really soon because football season is about to start. Yay, life. But we'll get into that. So Brian looks very stressed. So let me counsel him here. What's going on, buddy? You okay?
Just a lot going on. Can't really talk too much about it, but there's just a lot going on.
Is this like a sealed indictment or a warrant or something? You can't talk about it? Your house wasn't raided, was it?
No, they're only. I'm small. They're only going to send five FBI guys to my house. Or girls.
Well, no, they would need 30 to get through the clutter, so you would need a lot. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's long story short, I'm trying to go through some old stuff in an old house, and it's slow going.
And for those that don't know,
Go ahead.
You're recently divorced.
Yeah.
We've said that on the show,
Yeah.
so for the second time.
Second and last.
So, listen, people out there can, they understand. There's a lot. This is the ones that have been through it. There's a lot going on. So you're stressed. So we're just going to have a little fun today. My week.
What's going on?
Well, so I went and had my follow-up with my doctor. I told you, PSA again. Guys, 50, really, you can do it at 45. Get your colonoscopy. It will save your life. So I had a precancerous polyp. I told you that.
Mm-hmm.
Small one. Took it off, so it was good. So he said everything else looked good, so I don't have to do it again for 5 years. That's Cooper, everybody. He wants to be in the podcast.
He wants out.
We'll open the door. Let him out. So, precancerous, which was good. Got it out. Said everything looked good. But, so here's the strange thing. I'm giving you my my HIPAA stuff. I don't care. So he can bark. So we went through my blood work. My cholesterol's high.
You said that yesterday.
Which is crazy because obviously I don't drink.
Right.
I don't smoke.
Right.
I eat semi-healthy, and I work out 4 to 5 times a week. And I've been doing that for like 4 months. So it's got to be hereditary. And
how high?
It was high. I don't want to say the number, but because
I'll tell you mine. Mine was 285 overall.
So mine wasn't that high.
Yeah.
But for what I do with my life, it shouldn't be that high. And my HDLs were low, which is also concerning because you want the high density lipoproteins to be high.
The LDLs are bad.
So, so I got to go get, checked out by another doctor and see if I got to take a little medication. So that was a little disconcerting, but it is what it is. It's life. I'm 50, but the,
was your blood pressure okay?
Yeah, it was funny. So I went to the doctor's office and the nurse, it was later in the afternoon yesterday, and she seemed aggravated. And she walked in the office, and she did my weight, and then walked in the office, and they don't have an electric one; they do old-fashioned, blood pressure. So she didn't have the blood pressure cuff. She goes, I forgot the cuff. I said, well, that's okay. Just look at me. It's 120/80.
Right.
So then, obviously, I put that in her head, and she does it. She goes, oh my God, so creepy. You were 120/80. Well, because usually my blood pressure is high. Right. Most people are a little higher when they go to the doctor's office because they're just nervous. Yeah. And I usually am, but the doctor was running an hour late, and I was just like...
An hour?
Yeah, they were so behind. And I was just like, at that time, I had like... when you get aggravated and then you're above it, and it's just like, okay.
You just laugh at it, yeah.
Total chill, totally relaxed. And I didn't have anything going on. It's usually when you have a schedule that puts you behind. I was good with it. So yeah, I was super relaxed. But anyway, get your colonoscopy. But so yeah, good week. Update. People love updates because I get texted all the time. I do not think that the Gridiron Ranch is going anywhere. So I think we will.
Oh, we're staying, huh?
I think we will be here for the foreseeable future. It's a great home. We were just it was kind of business decision,
right? Yeah.
At the time. So I think we're good. So anyone that is listening that wants to visit and that hasn't come to the Gridiron Ranch.
So what's your feelings on that? Like, are part of you like, are you happy? Like, are you kind of torn? You understand what I'm saying?
I'm torn because like anybody else. So I think when I don't know, maybe I'm not most people. A lot of people don't like moving. We talked about this. My wife hates it.
Right.
So, and this would be, at 50, this would be my fifth move. I guess
Right,
that's
we talked about
that's
that, yeah.
a lot.
Right.
So people move. There's a couple reasons people move, right?
Right.
They grow out of their house, right? They need a bigger house.
Right.
Maybe it was their starter home. They want a nicer house. This was purely business because the market was such where if I could get into another house that we really like, okay,
Right.
and possibly eliminate or greatly decrease your mortgage payment, to me, it's kind of like a no-brainer. And I think you always have to have your head open for that landscape, especially when I got, I'm going to have 2 kids in college next year, and people are like, oh, your kids need to pay their own way in college. Listen, to each their own. Everyone does what they need to do.
Who said that?
People say it all the time. Let your kids take out their own loans.
I mean, I wish listen, I didn't do, okay, so going off on a tangent here, but I didn't do any college planning like an idiot, so I don't know how I'm going to pay for college.
So we had, but that's on you.
But I feel like it should be my responsibility. It's like once you're done with college, then you're on your own.
And that's a personal, I think, decision that parents make. So we did Florida prepaid.
Right.
So we have a chunk of that. My daughter, Katie, that has been went to Lynn University for soccer, started this week. Matter of fact, when I get off this podcast, I'm driving down to South Florida because she was living in an apartment, so we got to move her in. She's got a half academic scholarship, but it's
it's still a lot of money.
It's still a ton of money.
Sure.
And then I have a senior this year that hopefully, knock on wood, knocking on my head, goes to college next year somewhere. But
what does that mean?
Well, yeah, we'll cross that bridge. We'll never know. So anyway, that's really what the house thing was about. But we're super happy here. I tell you, who is even happier? The dogs love it.
Oh yeah, it's like a doggy playground.
Dog heaven as he's barking again. Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, update. Yep. So this is the show update show. So as we talked about, everything's full steam ahead for my to go back to the Orlando Police Department to be a coworker of yours once again as a
Can you mention who you're going to work with?
As a cold case investigator? Yeah, we've mentioned him, Detective Mike Field. So the way that cold case works at OPD is they have a cold case unit. There's one full-time detective dedicated to it, but times are tough where even he gets pulled away from stuff, and it's tough. So what they did was they said, well, let's have a contract investigator, someone that we can hire, not give benefits, but just a contract position to come in and investigate as well. So that's the position I took, and so it's easier for cities to do that because it's really hard to put another multiple full-time detectives in that position because there's just too much current crime, if you will. So someone like me, they can fish it out there and say, hey, we'll hire you as a contract, because at the end of the day, it's really hard to get someone that's qualified for an investigator position like that. Yeah. That's going to go do it with no benefits, just an hourly rate, which is what the contract is. And obviously I fit that mold.
Well, yeah, but the other thing is they can drop you right in. There's no curve. There's no learning curve.
For me, yes, it works out because I know how everything works.
Sure.
So you're not teaching anybody. You'll assign me my computer, and then I should also say, because I don't want them to get mad, we both know them, that Orlando Police, we have a community service department. What is it?
Oh, I know you're going to talk about.
What is it? It's right.
It's community service
officers. So they're
they are the crap.
They're sworn civilians.
They're not sworn.
They're not sworn, but they're civilians. Right. But they wear a badge. They wear a uniform. They don't carry a gun. No. They'll handle accidents. A lot of over with calls.
Burglaries. They can handle.
But anyway, a friend of ours, Ron D'Amico. Ron recently retired. Ron had 40 years.
I know.
Something ridiculous. So now Ron called me. So now Ron volunteers a couple days a week for cold case. So he gets in there and helps out as well. So I'll be working with Mike Fields, Ron D'Amico.
Oh, Ron's staying? I thought he was leaving.
So he's retired.
Right. I knew that.
But he volunteers. No, he's staying.
Okay.
2 days a week, maybe more. He comes in and works cases and helps Mike out. So he'll be helping me out. And so it'll be...
So... Story about Ron.
Yeah. Ron hired us, by the way, because Ron, so the CSOs, they also back in the day, in 90, 98, 99, 2000, they were in recruiting.
Yes.
And Ron actually hired Brian and I.
Yeah. So Ron was the background investigator.
I should say he hired us. Right. He was our background investigator.
But he had a lot to say.
Correct, because you can say, nope, they're done. They're not getting hired.
I don't know if I ever told the story about me getting hired or not, but...
Just tell it.
I don't know if I told it, but basically... I had put in for the county first, believe it or not, because I didn't even know OPD sponsored. I couldn't pay for myself to go to the academy. So I put in for the county, and the county's like, nope, we're on a hiring freeze, whatever. So I was like, oh, I'll go with OPD because I didn't realize they sponsor until after that. So when I applied the first time, I had talked to D'Amico, Ronnie, and he's like, yeah, everything looks good. You should be fine, blah, blah, blah. And then the next thing you know, I'm getting a letter saying, hey, you're not, thanks, but no thanks. And so I went to the station one day, and I called Ron, and I'm, because back, it was the old station. Remember, we had to use the phone to call back so I called him, and he goes, I'll come get you, right? So he comes down, and he gets me, and he says, look, I don't know how to tell you this, but, they cut the budget. We were going to hire 10, but we only hired like 6, and they cut the budget, so we can only hire 6. I said, okay, well, where was I in all that? And he goes, you were number 7. And I was like, oh, God. But Ron was cool because Ron's a Jersey guy, right? So we had this little bond, and he had actually, because he did my background, he saw my mom, and he's like, your mom's a cop, huh? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I found this article about her, and he read all up on her, and he's like, we're Jersey guys, So I'm like, this guy's cool. He's got me, and the next thing I'm not getting hired. Then he spoke up for me again, but yeah,
and I think they eventually did up it because that academy class, I think they went back. I think they must have got more money because I think we had 10 in that 10 or 12 in that class.
Because we were like the next class, but
that was a class.
So
before.
I missed that. No, it was like 2 classes before.
Okay.
But then later on, I come to find out, I don't even know who this guy or girl, whoever got hired over me was, but apparently I think Ron had told me later on, like he'd found out that the person flunked out of the academy, like failed like the first 2 tests and flunked out of the academy. Yeah, so
that makes him real happy.
Yeah, but so D'Amico's a good dude. He's a South Jersey guy, but good dude.
So as we move forward, this is the thought process, and again, our lines are open: Twitter, Facebook. You can give us your opinions.
We're getting a lot of requests for a live show. I don't know if you know this or not. We're getting a lot of requests for a live show.
Maybe some type of maybe on our anniversary, the 1-year show.
Do a live show?
We'll do a live show. And I have a lot of requests for people to be on it,
Can we do it on location somewhere?
Absolutely.
Like Bermuda or somewhere like on location.
I don't know about that, but well, there is one. There's a certain vacation next year that a bunch of us have already booked you have not.
I have not. I don't think it's going to happen.
And that would be the perfect place. But anyway,
God.
But as the show goes forward, so obviously, when at the inception, when this was created, I had been contacted by a lot of people and told, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this. And so we wanted a mixture of kind of sports and police stuff. Like, because, those are my two things. So I've already talked about when this college football season kicks off this month, and the schedule should be out pretty soon. I can't say it. I know my first 3 weeks. And I do know like week 0,
right?
Where there's very minimal college games, but I always usually do a high school kickoff game. So I'll be doing I'll be doing a high school game on week 0, and then college week 1, week 2. So my plan is to, like I talked about, once we really get into the meat of the season, is kind of preview the game I'm going to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then that next week, talk about the game. Sure. You know what I mean? Kind of, unwind it and the travels, anything funny, anything good happen, and kind of bring you along with me through my travels, because I think people kind of like that backstage kind of stuff.
I think you're going to need me to travel with you. I can get one of those
want to be my spotter,
multi-directional microphones, and we could just kind of document. I'll be your spotter.
Can be my spotter.
Do I have to know about football?
Not really.
I can figure it out.
To be a spotter.
I'll do it.
Just need to follow directions. And
can I retire and be a spotter?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay.
So we're going to do that, but now the big thing, so the biggest thing that in podcasting, I guess, one of the biggest things of the million podcasts out there is true crime, right? We talked about that.
Oh, yeah.
We try to, bring an element of true crime, but at the end of the day, what's true crime? I mean, you're looking at cases, right? So with the blessing, and I'm going to go ahead and say this, with the blessings of the police department, and we still have to get them, but I think we can do it. I've already talked to Mike. I would really love, once we solidify the cold case we're going to work,
right,
to bring Mike on with me and you, Mike Fields this is, and present the case. Present the case and go through it, which I think will be fascinating for the listeners, right? And then each week, along with my travels and the football side of it, we'll have a segment where we just update that cold case, where it is, where we're headed, and also get information out that we want to get out
Right.
to the public about the specific cold case. So I just think that'll be a fascinating dynamic of kind of bringing the best of both worlds, because people love true crime, and people that listen to us obviously are going to love football and my travels, and just kind of bring us in, and you're going to kind of be there moderating the whole thing. How's that sound?
I like it. And I could press the buttons on the soundboard.
You can press the gong button or whatever, and then so we'll bring Mike in. I told Mike we'll set up another microphone for him, and we'll bring him in and do the podcast. So I just think it'll be fascinating, and hopefully we can solve one. It'd be great.
No, you better solve one.
Or my contract will be not renewed.
Contract's contingent on performance.
But so that's the thought. Listen, let us know what you think. There's a handful of people that always let us know, and then I think we can do a live show down the road. I mean, I don't really know.
Well, you know who's pushing for that?
A guy by the name of Rich Lane that we're friends with.
He's pushing for that.
Who's a captain?
Yeah. Let the prank calls begin. I mean,
correct. They want to take calls. They want to do all this stuff. Like, okay. But let us know. I'm looking forward to it as we get in through here in football season. This week and next week are going to be quiet times. So next week I'm traveling up to our ESPN college football seminar where they bring in all the broadcasters, all the producers, all the directors. It's in Charlotte this year. We haven't done it in 3 years because of COVID.
I know.
So I'm looking forward to doing that. And we go through some stuff. We have some breakout sessions and some different stuff. So that'll be interesting. So I'll give you a breakdown of that next. Well, it's next.
You can rub
Tuesday,
elbows
Wednesday.
with like all the big shots and stuff. Like
I don't rub elbows with them.
Herb Street and those guys.
I'm in the same room with them.
Drink
at the same bar with him because it'll be open bar and stuff like that.
You walk up the Holtz and you're like, "Hey Lou, how you doing? How's everything going?"
Not there.
He's not there no more.
He used to be.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore.
You work up to Kirk and you're like, "Kirk, how you doing? How you doing?"
No.
Come on. No.
Mind my P's and Q's and go
Let me
about
buy you a drink, Kirk.
go about my business. Why can't he walk up to me?
He might.
Why shouldn't it be? It should be the other way around.
You never know. He's like, "Oh yeah, you're that Angolia guy. I've heard of you before."
20+ year veteran in the law enforcement world.
He's like, "Yeah,
show respect."
I've read about you.
No, but so I'm looking forward to that. So the next couple weeks is what I'm basically.
What if he
getting
walked
at.
up to you and he's like, "I know everything about you. I listen to episodes 1 through 4."
I'm gonna highly doubt that. So it's like, listen, it's like everything else. So it's the one time a year where you're all together, because other than that, you're all traveling, right? And everyone has their teams.
Right.
So when you sit down in the, it's in a hotel, so it'll be in like a ballroom.
Right.
So everyone sits down pretty much in their teams. Like your producer and director will be with you, and your play-by-play partner or your analyst. So it's all very cliquey as it is already.
Yeah.
And then you go to dinner, and it ends up being really cliquey with like, I'm doing air quote.
He's doing air quotes.
The more popular people, and then I don't even want to say I'm not a has been yet. I never was.
Can you ask for autographs at these meetings? It's like Comic-Con for Rini.
I'm going to set up a booth and give my autograph out. Screw you. Take it.
8x10s. What picture? That one right there on the wall. Yeah.
This is, and I've said this multiple times. This is my 13th year.
Is it really?
So I am
Holy crap.
I'm like the epitome of flying under the radar, because I guarantee you half of that room, probably, I'm cutting more than half the room doesn't know who the hell I am.
Sometimes that's a good thing.
It's a great thing. Listen, it is a great thing.
Yeah. They don't.
I would say half the people in there know who I am, and like if you said my name to Kirk Herbstreit, he would probably know who I was. He doesn't know me, but if you saw my face, I know who that guy is. Listen, I'm the quintessential like utility guy. 13 years in the league, flying under the radar. You need me to play shortstop, I'll play short. You need me to go to left field, go to left field. You need me to DH, you need me to pinch run.
You need.
Yeah, whatever. And I shut up and I do my job. So looking forward to another season. It should be fun. But so just kind of an update of where the show's headed, and just to give you a timetable, I think once September hits is when we will be full flow, where I think we'll be able to dive in to the cold case, and that's when really college football in earnest is really going. So I'll be able to give you a preview of the travels and everything that's going on, and then I think once it comes on, once the season starts, we'll bring in, speaking of like Kirk Herbstreit, not that necessarily we would call him, but I think we'll get some guests in of how the season's going for them, some play-by-play, some different analysts. We'll call them up. And then in the same token, I think we'll bring some experts in, like we had Mike Mareschi last week, which was great. We'll bring them in for the cold case stuff. So I think it's the best of both worlds.
You got an expert sitting right here.
In you?
No.
Or me?
No, me, but I'm just playing.
I'm joking. No.
I'm playing.
Beef, you are an expert.
Yeah, I'm a legend in my own mind.
So that's it. So we always said we were going to do a 20-minute show, and we're actually going to end up having a 20-minute show.
I was going to rant for a second.
Go ahead, rant. I want you to rant.
So you talk about, you mentioned COVID and how you hadn't done this thing for 3 years, So,
well, we did it digitally by Zoom.
Yeah, that's great. Did you wear pants?
Or yeah, I'm not that
Jeffrey
guy.
Tubin.
Yeah, no, I had pants on the whole time.
I thought I was on mute. They can still see you.
You want to laugh before you go?
Yeah,
Let me tell a funny story.
Go ahead.
So I'm an idiot when it comes to technology, as you know that, right?
So am I. I don't know how we got this thing up and running.
2 years ago when we did it. So last year we did it by Zoom.
Right.
And I was retired, so I did it here in my office. The year before that, I was still with OPD. And it wasn't necessarily the seminar per se. I think I don't even think we did a digital seminar just because it was like right in the meat of COVID, if you will. And, but we had like a meeting. We had like a Zoom meeting.
Right.
And I was at our, the union associated with the Orlando Police Department is FOP 25.
Oh, you were down there?
So I was down there. I was at
our
the
lodge.
union, the lodge, because when COVID happened, they allowed you.
That's right.
We went to work. You're not working from home, but they allowed you to spread out amongst the different headquarters, and there's a bunch of substations, and so obviously we have a nice union. A building, so a lot of the robbery detectives, we spread out and got out of the main building, and we went down there and got out of people's hair, and so I was down there, and I had it on my iPhone. No, I think I had my iPad, right? So I got the Zoom on the iPad. I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I'm gonna tell a story.
Why?
Well, I had to go to the bathroom so bad.
There's a shocker.
I didn't know how to
pause it.
Not pause. Well, you can't pause. It's a live meeting, but I didn't know how to mute. I mean, I was an idiot. This was so. Now we're all experts in Zoom now, right? Because we Zoom everything at a million meetings. It was probably the first time I was on Zoom, and I'm like, I didn't know you could mute it up there. I didn't know you could turn the camera off or around. So I'm demonstrating here. So I'm going. I have to go to the bathroom so bad, and I don't want to miss anything. What the different bosses are talking. So I walk into the bathroom with the.
You did not.
Oh yeah, I brought it in there. I'm like, I don't want to miss anything. I set it down. I turn it, make sure the camera's on anything, and I went to the bathroom. I had to.
Oh God! I wish you had told me that before, because I would have queued up the Frank Drebin scene from. Remember?
It was just I was absolutely.
Is that Major League 1 or 2?
I was absolutely
not Major League.
Absolutely thinking about that.
Naked Gun. Naked Gun 1 or 2.
I was absolutely thinking about that when I was in there. So
he's peeing.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have told that story, but whatever. But now I'm an expert in Zoom, so I actually know how to turn the camera. I was told it's rude when you're in a Zoom with multiple people and you turn your camera off. Heard that's improper Zoom protocol. Turn your camera off. I heard a lot of supervisors get pissed off when you do that. Bosses get mad
because you're rolling your eyes and making the.
Well, that is like the one thing people don't want to make, especially if you're in a big one with like 30, 40 people. Inevitably, someone says something and someone's making a face. So I think people just shut their camera off.
So 2 stories now about that. So
now I have to go to the bathroom because I just said that story. So hurry up.
Mareschi asked me to come and talk to his class up in where's it Brevard, right?
Brevard, North Carolina. Brevard College,
right? And I didn't travel up there. We did a Zoom, right? Because they weren't doing
they were remote
and
learning.
Oh my God, one kid was lying in bed. You could see you see the lights on the dorm room. One kid was sleeping, I think. Another one was smoking weed. I don't know what the hell was going on.
So I did one of those because Mike Corey, my former partner,
totally uninterested,
taught a communication broadcasting class at the University of Delaware. Yeah. So I talked to his class online too. They were all pretty good. You could tell some of them were like, I don't know.
They didn't give a shit.
Yeah, you could tell.
Yeah, they were just checked out. It's I don't know. I couldn't do that. But anyway, so COVID, and I don't know what the hell is going on with recovery or what, but Jeannie and her had a friend come out from Pasco, so they went out Saturday night, and they went down to City Walk. She's like, "Where do we go? Where's go to City Walk?" Apparently, that place is unstaffed or whatever. I guess she said they closed. 2 of the clubs weren't open. One of them closed at 12:30. The rest of they basically close at
Well,
12 on a Saturday night.
because there's no one wants to work.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
But-
That's exactly what it is. And it's
But somehow,
like
I'm
it was like that when we went
let
up
me
to
stop.
when we went up to Atlanta. We went up to Atlanta and it was so I just don't understand.
I haven't been in a restaurant before everything happened, before COVID, before everything got crazy. I have not been in a restaurant that I've looked around and said this place is fully staffed. Not one.
No.
It doesn't matter if it's a breakfast joint or a high-end restaurant. Just not.
I just don't understand it. I mean, that's my rant for the day, I guess. But if anybody's from Universal's listening, I'm just curious as to why you're closing it.
They don't have. People don't want to work.
I know.
They don't
Isn't
want to
that
work.
crazy?
It's a different world we live in. I don't know. I have multiple streams of income because I like to work.
Yeah.
And I like to make money.
Yeah.
And I'm a capitalist. I'm sorry. I mean,
Go to work.
go to work.
Yeah.
Go to work. All right. So that's going to end it. Short show for us today. I have to drive down to South Florida. Brian's in a bad mood. The dog's scratching the door. Lots going on for the show update. But yeah, once we get into September, I think we're going to have some really good content. I think the cold case thing will bring in new listeners, and I think it will really enhance the show. Let's hope the
People don't want to come
the
here. For
powers to be let us do it. Now, I'm not going to say anything, but I happen to know the new police chief. I mean, I know all the police
you do know
chiefs,
the
but
old one?
I know them all, but I've known Eric Smith, the new police chief, for many, 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 many years. Eric's a former football player, played at UCF. When we had back in the early 2000s, when we had a flag football team for the department, we traveled the country, and so me and Eric played together. So I think we'll be able to get the cases on the air. So
if not, we'll go through and find some other ones.
it'd just be cool to actually hear the investigators present a case that they're actually currently working.
Right.
And Mike was good with it because Mike knows. And here's another thing. Some of the cold cases that are, again, I can't give them away, but some that are out there in our jurisdiction that we can work, there's already podcasts on them. That's crazy.
Yeah, you were saying.
So, but anyway, thanks for listening. I know this show kind of stung for you, but we probably made
we're late.
We made you chuckle, but
Sorry.
give us 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars, and let us move up the
I hate you guys.
the ladder of the podcast world. But listen, no fear. College football is almost here. See you next week.
Have a good week, everybody.